Hi everyone, it's Taylor and Reese again thank you, for February's Golden Vlog series. We're just going to practice standing today. So, yeah, we're just going to stay right here. So our first question today is, where did you grow up? Well, I'm a military brat, so the answer to that question is everywhere. I was actually born in Idaho. Well, my dad was finishing up law school at the University of Idaho. Um, and then my sister was born there as well. Then we moved to South Carolina, or Virginia for a quick second, and then to South Beaufort, South Carolina, where my brother was born. Then we moved to San Diego, California, where my baby sister was born, and we immediately left back to Virginia. We actually stayed in Virginia for 8 years, which is a military miracle. If any of you are military spouses or military brats would know, 8 years, 4 different tours in the same area, that's astounding. So I graduated high school from Virginia. So I say that I'm from Virginia, whereas my sister will say she's from California, and my 2 younger siblings will say they're from Utah since they are retired in Utah now. My parents are retired. I live in Utah right now. That's also where I went to college. Do I have siblings? Yes, I just said that. I have a 22-year-old sister, Madison, an 18-year-old tomorrow brother named Bobby, and a 14-year-old sister named Paige. Do I have a nickname? Well, when I was younger, my family would call me Tay Tay. However, I definitely grew out of that. But then in junior high, I grew up with a generation of all the Caitlins and the Brittnys. So we had Kate, Katie, Caitlin, Kathy, Kat, Catherine, Brittany, Britt, Britty, all those with nicknames, different spellings. And Taylor, well, what nickname can you come out of Taylor? So I actually made up a nickname based off of my first and middle name, Taylor Bethany, and I put them together and it became known as Tanny. And I actually went by that for quite a bit during junior high and high school. Did you have a pet growing up? No, my mom and I are both allergic to fur. I'm worse than she is. So growing up, we would have goldfish every now and then, but they always lasted less than a month. But now that I'm out of the house and my family has 2 little puppies, they're supposed to be allergen free, but they're not for me. Did you have any favorite stories from childhood? Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm not sure. I liked hearing about my parents and dating. But other than that, I don't really remember many stories told me when I was a child. If it means events that happened to me, when I first moved to Virginia, I was 10 years old. Very highly imaginative. All I knew about Virginia was that that's where Pocahontas was. And so when we first moved into our home, there were a ton of trees in the backyard. More than I had ever seen in my life. And yeah. And we were actually living less than a block away from the local high school. And so, of course, moving there in July, August, that's the middle of band camp. And band camp starts early. So I woke up as a 10-year-old, looking out into the forest of the backyard I had, hearing drums, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's Indians. There are Indian tribes like Iroquois out there. But I didn't realize till later, no, it's just a high school band camp. What did you think your life would be like when you were older? Kind of how it is now. I've always wanted to be a teacher, and I'm a teacher now. I did imagine quitting as soon as I had children, but I decided that I wanted to work part-time since I love teaching so much. I did know that I was going to get married while in college, and I did my last year. I did know that I was going to BYU. That's the only college I actually applied to. And pretty much life is how I expected it. Getting married, going to college, being a teacher, and becoming a mom. So I'm doing it. What is your most embarrassing memory? When I was 14, I believe it was 14, 13 or 14, it was really hard for us to find modest one-piece swimsuits. And so my mom bought us tank bikinis because they were more modest than bikinis. And of course, as a 14-year-old, I had a stick for a body. I hadn't really grown into womanly curves. I still don't really even have womanly curves even now. And so it was, my mom believed it would be okay for us to wear tankinis. And so we went to a resort one time, and there was an indoor water park, and one of the rides was a boogie boarding ride, and I loved boogie boardings. And so I got on it, and the boogie board, you would start at the top, and you would boogie board down, but then the water would keep pushing you back up, and so gravity would push you down, and the water would push you back up. Well, I got a big, huge wave right in my face in this area, and I had a wardrobe malfunction in front of everyone in the line, and in front of the good-looking, cute boy who was in charge of the ride. And so from then on, I vowed never to wear a two-piece swimsuit ever again, whether completely covering my belly or not. Did not matter. I did not ever want to have a wardrobe malfunction happen again. Yeah. Are you telling your most embarrassing moment too? Then the next one is tell us your love story and what are your plans this Valentine's Day. Well, Justin and I actually do have our own versions of our love story on the blog. Mine is called Her Story, and his is called His Story. We kind of remember it a little bit differently, but long story short, at the beginning, Justin was more interested in it than I was. I didn't really want to date at that point in time. I had gotten out of a bad relationship, and I was almost graduated. I didn't want to focus on boys. But he immediately saw me and wanted to date me because I was a volleyball playing redhead. We became really good friends. We would play video games together. We would talk about geek stuff together, always hang out. Finally, he built up the courage to hold my hand. And then a week or so later, we officially started dating. And then a few months later, then 6 months later, we got engaged. Now, since we both went to BYU students are known to get married. And the apartment complex that we both lived in was really well known for marrying each other. So out of about 160 people living in this apartment complex, there were over 20 couples within dating each other getting married at the end of that semester. And so you can imagine our bishop's face. He was so excited to know that, we were all getting married. And then the week before Justin proposed to me, there were 7 proposals the previous week. And some of these were from people who were dating less than Justin and I had. And we knew that we were going to get married. He just wanted me to meet his parents first before he proposed. But finally, he surprised me with a picnic and one of my favorite movies. And at the end of it, he then knelt down and proposed. So that's our love story. He tells it a little bit differently and a lot more hilariously and exaggerated. So I definitely recommend going to read those. Let's see if there's any more questions. Plans for Valentine's Day? Well, my birthday was 2 days ago, so we celebrated by going to Tucano's. That's kind of our big, huge celebration for my birthday and Valentine's Day. However, on our dinner menu in our kitchen, Justin made the menu for this week, and it does say Valentine's Day surprise. So I'm not really sure what he's planning for Valentine's Day. We'll see on Saturday. And then what is your favorite Valentine's Day memory? Well, again, it was when we were dating. We already knew we were going to get married by this point in time. And Justin took me out to P.F. Chang's for my birthday / Valentine's Day. And he told me that if we got Mongolian beef, and he told me that if I could tell him the type of cut on that Mongolian beef, then he would go out right after dinner there and buy me a ring. Of course, I didn't know it, but less than a week later, he took me ring shopping anyway. So yeah, that's all the questions, and Reese gonna go pull up on the other couch so we can watch that real quick before signing off. And there you have it. He's 7.5 months old and already doing that. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell, and there's Reese just showing off his skills, and we will see you again next month in March.